also calling for justice and prayers, saying that it's going to be a miracle if he ever walks again. Now, his family actually made some statements. They were outside of the Kenosha County Courthouse, and, his father wondered why police shot his son in the back, like his life didn't matter. His mother said that she's praying for everyone, including the officers, and was asking for an end to all the rioting and the violence. His mother was also on CNN late last night, where she basically was asking for peace and an end to all of the destruction.
My family and I are very hurt, quite frankly disgusted. And as his mother, please don't burn up property and cause havoc and tear your own homes down in my son's name. People shouldn't do it anyway, but to use my child or any other mother or father's child, our tragedy, to react in that manner is just not acceptable.
I mean, it's just so sad, and I have yet to hear any update on what's going on with this, and is there another side to the story?
Right, exactly. I don't think that the police have actually released any information. There was another video that came out, a different angle of this scuffle between Blake and the officers before the shooting. So that was released, but not from the police department. They haven't released anything, as far as I know.
I'll just reiterate what I said yesterday. It comes down to the 7 shots. Just seems ridiculous. It just does. No matter what the truth is, it just seems over the top.
Oh, I'm totally with you. I mean, 2 cops got put on leave, obviously. We still don't know the name of the officer that shot him, right? Watching the video, the 7 shots, as Tom mentioned, is ridiculous. There is no way you can convince me, and I know police officers can call in, and I also know I'm not a cop, too, but it's very hard to convince me that you could not de-escalate the situation. Now, I know there were kids in the car. I do. And we don't know the full story. With that being said, all the examples, how does it happen like this? And there's just way too many examples like this, too.
Right, and so then you have the Lions situation yesterday, which I think was awesome. And, the Raptors talking about boycotting an NBA playoff game. I mean, these guys are saying, look, nothing's changing. Just like what you said, Jeff, just continues to happen and happen. It seems like, I think it was Rico yesterday said it's like a 3-month thing. Here we go again.
No, he's absolutely right. I heard him on Mike yesterday. I thought they were fantastic. Gunny, who was running the board before you guys got in here, told me about a video where Jacob Blake is in one video, and then a white guy is in another video, and the cop never shot the guy, and he charged at a cop, and he grabbed for the cop's taser. So obviously that's another question too. You heard Blake's mother say, why doesn't his life matter? Or they treated him like his life didn't matter, and that's what you're left feeling here. It's unacceptable. It's sick. It's disgusting.
You guys, Governor Whitmer says she won't be bullied into reopening gyms, theaters, and bowling alleys. So during a press conference on Tuesday, she expressed that she's still determining whether the state can safely allow those businesses to reopen. And she did acknowledge that she is receiving pressure from those business owners, but she stated that she won't be bullied into making a decision.
I have zero problem with that, to be honest with you. I mean, I was talking to somebody down in Ohio yesterday. It's one of our Tiger affiliates, and are the differences in the states and how they're doing things. They have high school football starting. They broadcast the high school football games, and it's just such a different world. And he was like, yeah, your governor's taking a lot of heat up there. And I actually found myself defending her quite a bit, because originally the death rate had been so high here in Michigan. It was one of the worst in the country, and I thought some of the things were necessary. And I kind of think, although I'm frustrated by this, that she's just trying to keep the level of infection at a certain rate. And if you start opening up those places, it is going to increase. It's just been proven. Yeah. Look at what's happened on college campuses. The more people that congregate in a small area, especially inside, the more it's going to transmit.
I 100% agree with you, but I also can see the other side. Like, okay, so it's safe to open a restaurant, where I've been in one that is definitely not following the regulations. It was not 50% capacity. It was 100%. People were crammed in there. You can have that, and they're still open. I don't know if they ever received a fine or whatever it was, but then you can't open a theater with limited capacity and space people out. And to me, they're very similar. A bowling alley, just limit how many people can be in them. Open every 3 lanes or something, or every other lane. And I think that there's a safe way that you could start opening these things. And another thing that bothers me with the gyms is that some gyms are open.
Yeah.
The gym that I go to is still open and has been open, and they're not shutting down. So they're getting all of this business from all these other gyms because they're not open. So their clients are going to them. They're getting all these new, signups, and it frustrates me because it's like, well, okay, so they're not getting shut down. It's so unfair to all these other gyms who are going to really, really struggle when they start to open up again.
But that's just like the restaurant that you just said that's going 100%. There's you have your anomalies out there that are doing it. They're defying the orders, and they should, if that's against the law or whatever, they should be fined. I miss going to the gym. I can tell my body's changed.
I miss having something to do on a Friday or Saturday night with the wife. I would agree. Heather, I think you make a great point. I do, because if I can sit and eat dinner because I want to, and I take my mask off and I'm social distancing and hopefully it's safe, right? Why can't I go to a movie, sit there with my mask on, or take it off, eat some popcorn, and take it in for an hour and a half or 2 hours? Like, at some point, I understand this is real, and I understand what the Big Ten did, and I get what Tom's saying with colleges, but at some point, too, we do have to figure out how to live a little more with this virus, I think.
And that's why I think with the gyms and movie theaters, I would prefer to see maybe a 20 to 25% capacity launch and see how it goes.
For sure. Yeah. Yes. Let's do that.
And if you don't want to go, don't go. Yesterday I picked up my daughter. I saw a kickboxing class. There was at least 20 women on the various, the speed bags or whatever, and they were out in the parking lot, and they were getting their workout on. So I guess if you can't do it inside, you can do it outside.
Well, gyms can do outside classes. It's just the thing, I've seen a ton of outside classes. It's super hot, but it's also going to start getting very cold. So that's going to, depending on how long this goes. Anyway, we'll talk more about that next news. Listen to this, you guys. That Southfield woman who was found alive after she was declared dead last week was apparently in a body bag for 2 hours before she was found by workers at that funeral home. 2 hours, which is insane to me. So this is all so crazy. So apparently the woman's family has now hired or is working with Jeffrey Feiger, okay? And he's starting to investigate possible negligence by the authorities. And first he says that this woman suffered this apparent seizure during her morning routine. She suffers from cerebral palsy. So she was in this morning routine where she eats, she gets dressed, she does a breathing treatment, and she apparently suffered a seizure. But she says that she was placed in a body bag at 9 a.m. and wasn't found till just before 11:30.
Oh my God.
It's just unbelievable.
How is that possible? Now, during the entire time, she's not conscious, right? She's obviously not.
I really hope she's not. Who knows?
I mean, she had to be sleeping or something.
I would hope so. Because you'd think that she would make some noise or try to alert somebody. You would freak out if you woke up inside of a body bag. Freak out. So I'm guessing, she wasn't all there with it, but it's so hard for me to understand how that happens. One more, you guys. All right. So Usain Bolt has tested positive for coronavirus after he enjoyed a very massive surprise birthday bash in Jamaica. So he actually had posted a video on social media after he took the test, because originally some fake news got out and said that he was positive. He said, hold on, I haven't received the results yet, but I am self-quarantining, and I'll do so until I find out the results. Well, the results came back. They are positive. So he is going to continue to self-isolate until his next test is negative. But there's concern over this big party. I guess his girlfriend threw him this huge bash. He just turned 34, and there was a ton of people there. I guess a bunch of Jamaican celebrities. So, of course, I guess those people there are going to have to self-monitor for symptoms.
See, for all the people like me that say you got to learn to live with the virus, and I want movie theaters open, just talked about the gyms. Then you hear a story like this, and there's probably going to be a lot of COVID cases. So I guess what the hell do I know, right?
Well, but that's the thing. Large group of people, probably very few, if any, were wearing masks.
Exactly.
A lot probably of it was inside. That's the recipe.
There was people dancing. I mean, you can go to the gym, you can go to a movie theater. If you can go to a restaurant and socially distance, I mean, then you can do that, I think, at a bowling alley and everything else. It's just, it depends how close you're getting with these people and what you're doing. But
Heather, thank you for the news.
Yes, you're welcome.
Up next, the Detroit Lions didn't practice it. We'll tell you
Starting
why.
route to
9700
4472 US Street. Head east on Court Road, then turn right onto Telegraph Road.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Mortgage rates are at an all-time low, and now is the time to refinance. Giving
In
our clients
4.6
five-star
miles,
service
keep
is our
right to
number
merge
one
onto
priority.
M10 south toward I-696 East.
Chat with us online at davidhallmortgage.com.
Hi, this is Rachel with Kroger asking for all Michiganders to help now during Kroger's First Responders Virtual Food Drive. COVID-19 prevents an in-person food drive from happening this year, so the virtual food drive was created to help collect funds for 6 local food banks right here in Michigan. These funds will feed families across our state. Your help is greatly appreciated and desperately needed. Every dollar helps. Please consider making a donation to feedmich.com. That's feedmich.com. Let's end hunger together.
There are times when it's hard to ignore that you may have a gambling problem. Like when you're at the casino and you've withdrawn the maximum amount from your ATM. Withdrawal denied. When you can't leave the tables, yet you don't know how you're going to put food on the table. Credit card denied. When you can't seem to pump the brakes on gaming and then can't fill up your gas tank. Transaction denied. When you're so invested in gambling, you're not able to invest in your future. You're robbing yourself and those you love of a better life. Approval denied. Don't deny there's a problem any longer. If you or someone you love is struggling with a gambling problem, we can help you win your life back. For free confidential help, call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117 or visit michigan.gov/problemgambling. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Third floor study hall. My dining room table. Homeroom Monday and Tuesday. My living room Wednesday to Friday.
Wherever school happens for you this year, Staples has amazing prices on everything you need. From lap desks to computers, desk chairs to UV sanitizers. And this week at Staples, Apple AirPods are just $134. You save $25. Shop in-store, pick up curbside, or order online. School on, save on. Staples. Ends 8/29 while supplies last. Limit 2. Curbside available in most stores. Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria. It does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. To keep surfaces sanitized all day, use Microban 24. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria initially. Once gone, Microban 24 is effective for 24 hours on bacteria when used as directed. Microban 24 sanitizing spray delivering anti-surface cleaning.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios either. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we can earn and our clients can earn. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money manager.
Investment seems to be reasonable for risk cuts.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Pearl National Benefit Plan. For affordable life insurance, log on to nbphealth.com.
Text the
having their voices heard from what happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and with Jacob Blake. And, you know, it was a weird scene to start yesterday because they kept pushing Matt Patricia's Zoom press conference back, and they were supposed to practice in the late morning. Then looking on Twitter, following some of the beat writers, that kept getting pushed back, and then everybody got pushed to the parking lot and said the Lions are going to join us. They're going to talk to us in person, which, by the way, it's been all Zoom up till that point. And the Lions came out as a team, very unified. They gave their message. They told stories. Many players talked. Then they talked in a Zoom press conference later. And listen, I destroy the Lions, it seems like, on a daily basis, but I think this was fantastic. Obviously, what happened with Jacob Blake was unacceptable. They thought that as well. We're still waiting for more details. And the Lions decided to unify and have their voices heard. And Matt Patricia was there, and the rest of the team was there, and they got to talking. They told stories amongst themselves, obviously from different outlooks. And they said, listen, football just didn't seem right today. And I know a lot of people might not like what they decided to do. I know a lot of people might not even understand what they decided to do. Me personally, I think it was fantastic what they decided to do.
I don't understand how you can't like what they decided to do. I really don't. I mean...
Well, there are the stick to the sports crowd.
Keep right.
You know what? These things are becoming bigger than that. I mean, because there hasn't been change, and as Rico said, it seems to be a 3-month cycle with these things coming up again and again and again. What's going to change it? They're trying to do something to change it. I mean, this wouldn't have happened 3 years ago. It's because it continues to happen, and these guys are unifying, and the white teammates are listening and being caring, and now I'm starting to understand exactly what black people go through in this country.
Absolutely, and think of the league that's doing it too. I mean, it's one thing to have various protesters and various people speak out. This is the NFL. The NFL that did not understand and probably blackballed Colin Kaepernick, right? This is a league that at every turn seemed like all they care about is the money. And now you get a team that decides to do what I think is the right thing. And kudos to Matt Patricia, because he said yesterday he hopes every team does the same exact thing. Now, it hasn't happened. It was only the Lions, at least as of now. But definitely, at least in my mind, the right move.
Right, and for the Detroit Lions to take the lead on doing something and for them to organically do it first, I think says a lot about what might be happening in that locker room. Because there's certainly a gel and a brotherhood that's happening there, and I believe it was 100% genuine for Matt Patricia to allow this to happen. I don't think there's any other motivations for him to do that, but it is, you have to say, from a team perspective, and potentially a genius move for them to do this, because they're together right now. They are. And this is something that could carry to the field. And I know that that's what happened yesterday is far more important than what happens on the field. And I say screw the stick to football people, because I just believe this is becoming bigger than football. And you know, there's people like Muhammad Ali who stood up for things back in his day and tried to get change for things. And you know, Colin Kaepernick, you said probably blackballed. He was obviously blackballed. You know, you still have a league here where Jerry Jones is trying to craft a way around the anthem as being the way to protest and the kneeling thing. Jerry, wake up, man. And I'm one of the people, and I still don't like the kneeling. I am one of those people, but I understand it, and I'm not going to fight it. And I'm gonna respect it. I would have preferred that it would have been a different way of protesting. I just do. But this is the way it happened, and I'm going to accept it and move on.
You know, the interesting thing, Tom, is you say you would understand what people are going to think that this isn't the right thing to do. And I'm looking at the ticket text, and I don't even think I need to reread all of these, but it's amazing to me how many people are upset that the Lions skip practice, or are upset that we keep saying 7 shots wide, or are upset that we're talking about this to begin with. And I guess what I would say to that is, I mean, try living in somebody else's shoes. Try accepting, try hearing somebody else's story. And I think in a microcosm, that's pretty much what happened in Allen Park yesterday. a bunch of guys got together and told their stories. And Taylor Decker and others talked about rides home, driving while black, what other people have gone through. I mean, I kind of feel this is all about understanding each other. Take yourself out of your own self for a second and understand what other people may be going through. And I think that's what they did in Allen Park. And hopefully, we all start to do that.
Well, I'm interested, and I'd like to throw it out there. Has anybody experienced this in their workplace? And I know COVID has certainly caused that to probably not happen, but wouldn't it be cool to do that? Like, I would love to do that here, and maybe even a Zoom call with Rico, Brian Chapman, and David Hall,
sure.
Kang, and just have they experienced things of discrimination? Because stuff like this never gets talked about. It's like, and it needs to be. We need to understand what's going on out there. I mean, look at COVID. There were people who were, attacking Chinese people, Asian people. That's been going on.
Even the president.
Right.
Yes.
And hardly got, well, right. And even, it's just, I think it's kind of like white privilege, or we turn a blind eye to things and stuff. But let's hear from Matt Patricia on him yesterday and how this happened and why practice didn't happen. Number 5 grade?
I guess for myself, I just thought I didn't really feel right about going into practice, and I didn't feel about going out there and trying to run some football drill without just talking to our team. As far as I'm concerned, when things go, when things are hard in the world, there's 2 things that I check. First is my family, and then the second is, is this football team and the guys in that locker room, and making sure that everybody's okay. And that was my mindset walking in today, was just to make sure that everybody was okay.
Good for him.
That's Matt Patricia.
And I'm surprised. I am. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he allowed it to go to the point where there wasn't going to be a practice. I think you let an organic discussion start taking place, but then you're like, all right, boys, let's get out on the field. Do you think Bill Belichick would allow something like this?
No, I don't. And I'll give credit to Matt Patricia because he did allow this. And listen, do I believe this was his idea? No, I don't. I think it was the player's idea. Do I believe he was worried about what his players were thinking? Absolutely. And I think he kind of saw the tone of what's going on with his players, and he decided this was the right thing to do. I think they came into practice yesterday thinking they were going to practice. And I'll give another thing, too. As much as we criticize Matthew Stafford, I mean, he was awesome yesterday. Take a listen, Greg, if we have Stafford just talking about how proud he is of this team and being a quarterback in this league, especially on a day like yesterday.
And guys telling stories that they haven't told anybody before, and they feel comfortable enough in our locker room to tell the guys and the coaches, everybody that's in there. It was incredible. It was awesome. I love being a part of it. It's such an incredible feeling, and hopefully, just the beginning. But I'm just proud to be the quarterback of this team. I'm proud to be a part of this organization, and just really happy to be a part of it today.
So that's Matt Stafford talking about what he felt yesterday. 248-539-9797. Has this happened in your workplace? I mean, like Tom said, it is kind of difficult just because of COVID right now. And even for the Lions, a lot of them said it. Listen, they talked over Zoom when George Floyd and that situation was going on. And this was the first time that they've been able to gather together and tell the stories to each other's face, which I definitely think helped. But Tom, as I mentioned, and Heather as well, it blows my mind. It does. Because and I'm just scrolling through the ticket text, and we can take the calls as well at 248-539-9797, but I'm scrolling through the ticket text, and there is not one single ticket text, at least that I've seen, that says kudos to the Lions, way to use your voice, way to try to help change, anything like that. No. Instead, and I can read some of this coming up next, but a lot of people are angry. So for all the people that think, well, it was the right thing for the Lions to skip practice yesterday, have their voices heard, and hopefully promote change, there's a whole hell of a lot of people on the ticket text right now, I don't know if they're on the phone lines as well, that say, come on, guys, stop. Are you serious? So we can get to that next. 97 on the ticket.
WWWJ AM 950 Traffic Center. Quite a few issues on your drive this morning. That includes a crash on 75 northbound at Schaefer, blocking the left lane and shoulder. I-94 eastbound at Mount Elliott, right side is blocked by an accident. Taking a look at 94 westbound this time at the Lodge Freeway, there's an accident blocking the left lane. And another crash also in the left lane, 96 Jeffries westbound at Beach Daily. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
The Detroit Tigers host the Chicago Cubs. Pre-game tonight at 6:45 on 97.1 The Ticket.
This is Homer Esiason with the Radio.com Sports Betting. On September 20th, the Dolphins will allow up to 13,000 socially distanced fans to attend their home opener against Buffalo. I don't think everybody staying home and sitting on the couch is the only way to be safe, Miami CEO Tom Garfinkel said. The Garfinkel, with owner Stephen Ross's blessing, is willing to play Russian roulette on a mass scale in a region that's been a persistent COVID-19 hotspot. For what purpose, really? To collect some pocket change for a billionaire to create a questionable home field advantage or to boost morale? Miami isn't alone here, folks. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Dallas, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Kansas City, Minnesota, and Pittsburgh are among those planning to allow limited capacity admissions starting week 1. Meantime, Chicago, Las Vegas, and Washington have already decided they can go spectator-less for the entire season. While it's debatable whether to deem pro athletes essential, fans sure aren't. I'm Homer Esiason.
Hi, this is Jay Farner, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. We can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so when you call 8338-ROCKET or visit us at rocketmortgage.com to start your refinance, you'll be well on your way to saving money every month. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.375%, APR 3.59%. Right now could be a great time for you to take some positive financial steps forward with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, which could give you the boost that you're looking for. In addition, we may be able to help you refinance with little or no out-of-pocket costs. At Rocket Mortgage, we're committed to every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses, giving you the best mortgage experience. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Rates subject to change. A 1.875% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
Your daughter got her learner's permit. And to celebrate, you're on your way to get her favorites at McDonald's. And you let her drive. Now, if you could just make it to the drive-thru, enjoying the journey together, that's something to value.
Choose your $3 bundle. Pair either the deliciously cheesy McDouble or the boldly seasoned hot and spicy McChicken with small fries. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with combo meal.
Summer is here, and the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers are open and ready to help. We are still offering online sales support and complimentary home delivery. Plus, we are continuing our enhanced cleaning procedures, so you have peace of mind while you're shopping. Right now, current Easy Plan lessees can lease a 2020 Ford F-150 Super Coupe XLT 4x4 for $149 a month for 24 months, with $3,129 due at signing. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It includes wage security deposit, excludes title, taxes, and license fees. Payment also includes RCL bonus cash, select inventory RCL cash, open bonus cash, renewal cash, and AXCD bonus cash. Not all lessees will qualify for Ford Credit Red Carpet Low Mileage Lease. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Take new retail delivery from dealer stock by August 31st. See dealer for qualifications and complete details. Some exclusions may apply. Visit us today at BigFordFirst.com. So lease a 2020 F-150 Super Crew XLT for $149 a month. Think Ford first.
Hello? Kimmy. I know it's your birthday, man, but I better not. The thing is, I went out last week. I ran into Rona. I do not want to run into Rona, man.
Run into Rona, and Rona will run you down. Stay away from Rona. Here's how at RonaForReal.com.
Parents, do you want to save your child's life? 97.1 The Ticket Student Heart Check can help. Make the time to have your child checked. Contact the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Learn more at 971theticket.com.
The station where your opinion matters.
There was a long conversation, a lot of listening. Again, Trey Flowers said something in the spring to me that was so impactful. Just he said it can be so simple. Just listen. And something that stuck with me when he was on my mind this morning. I just want to listen.
6:51 in the Motor City. What's going on, everybody? It's the morning show. Stoney back on Monday. It's Heather. It's Tom. I'm Jeff. Talking about what the Lions did yesterday. They skipped practice and instead decided to address the media. And they talked about the situation that happened in Wisconsin. And we're just talking about it right now. A lot of people seem to have an issue with it. Other people, of course, totally down with what the Lions did. I think the three of us are down with what the Lions did as well. I do have some ticket text to get to. We can get to the phones as well. And I just have one thing to, I guess, reiterate. It is interesting, and listen, we can disagree and agree on all different kind of things, but there's a lot of different ticket texts that simply say at me, hey Jeff, don't give me my opinion. I have my own opinion.
And Jeff, I agree with that. People are entitled to have a different opinion on this. I just think, I think this is a moment where Matt Patricia, this was a very smart move by him. Imagine him trying to walk into this, which was organically happening, and say, all right, guys, we do have a practice today, even if it's an hour later. Sure. He had a good sense and a good pulse on what was happening, and he let it be. He could have made this situation way worse. I just think...
well, he would have lost the team. I mean, right, he would have definitely lost the team.
And I don't think he allowed this to happen for that reason. I think he's a good dude that allowed this to happen because he has a sense of the pulse of what's going on with the team, and it just wasn't. It's one preseason practice. People, you always complain about preseason games. This is a practice. It's just one. Come on, chill out.
Well, here's some of the ticket text I wanted to read to you. The 248-539-9797. The Lions actually gave me goosebumps yesterday. This hasn't happened since Stafford put himself back in the game after his shoulder went out. Ford F4 goes on to say, those who are upset don't understand that the problem is in our country. And if they argue about people speaking out, what else are they arguing about? There's another one. I'm 19 years old. On my way to work this morning, I love sports. I love hearing things like this about one of my favorite teams. The world needs more of this. So a lot of people are agreeing. A lot of people are upset as well. And I can read you a sampling of this. When did 97 won the ticket turn into the all-liberal station? I mean, I don't think Tom's very good.
I voted for Trump, people, so there you go. I
did.
Are you
going to vote for him again?
I've explained to it, and I talked about it when Jamie passed. One of mine and Jamie's, my favorite moments when we went back and forth after Trump was elected. It took over Heather's News, and it was just outstanding 10 minutes of raw, crazy. It was like we were on Fox News, and it was almost like Hannity versus Cuomo. It was awesome. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Juan in Flint. You're on 97.1 The Ticket. What's up, Juan?
Hey, I actually have had a friend who was part of the Steelers practice squad a few years back, and he was actually friends with Artie Burns when he got drafted. Apparently, according to my friend, Artie had taken some of his some money from his first check and went out and bought himself a nice car. So the two of them were running some errands just like a few days later, and they had gotten pulled over by the police in Pittsburgh. They didn't believe that either one of them was from the NFL and thought they were drug dealers. And they had to call around and verify that they were indeed members of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they basically got harassed just for being two black men in a nice car.
And Quan, think about it. Let's say you're in that situation, or I am, and then the first thing you're going to say is, if you really are legit, you're an NFL player, you don't have drugs on you, you're going to become defensive. And then that just starts igniting the situation. So then you got to swallow your pride and just go along with the what they want you to do. And you've done absolutely nothing wrong, maybe other than speed or something like that.
Yep.
It's real, people. I'm sorry. I know people want to deny it, but it's the truth. Have you ever been accused of being a drug dealer when you get pulled over, Jeff?
Never.
Me neither.
Never. The closest thing that ever happened to me was I used to live in West Bloomfield, Stoneystown, and I drove a really piece of garbage car. And I used to drive home at 3 in the morning. I used to get pulled over all the time. So police officers looked at my license. They saw that I apparently had a residency in West Bloomfield, and they let me go. But no, never. I've never dealt with the anxiety. I heard Rico talking yesterday. Just the added anxiety that a black person goes through when they're driving and they get pulled over by the cops. You or I get pulled over by the cops. I think to myself, I hope I don't get a ticket. I hope I don't have to pay extra insurance money. I don't have the money to pay a ticket. I mean, a black individual is probably thinking much, much worse things.
Exactly. All right, let's go to Nick. You're on 97 on the ticket. What's up, Nick?
Stop sign. Turn right
Hey,
onto
thanks for
your
taking
street.
my call.
Yep.
Okay, so here's my opinion, and I know I'm going to probably, be in a minority on this, opinion, but
In 900
so
feet,
I
the
think a lot of
destination is on your
people
right.
are throwing all these
4472 Taylor Street.
situations, kind of lumping them together. I just don't think they can. Like George Floyd, I agree these cops should be locked up. There was no excuse for what happened, even though he was resisting. Now, the thing that happened in Minnesota, they had a weapon. Now, you can say whether it was a lethal weapon or not, but that taser, if he would have tased the cop, they could have then stole the cop's gun and shot the
is
cop.
on your right.
I think this thing that just happened, the guy tried to reach into his car. Now, who knows what would have been in the backseat of his car if it could have been a gun. So I think